when you start recovering from anxiety, your anxiety is gonna be intense. You know, the first time that I actually started putting in the work, the first time that I actually started, you know, regulating my nervous system, then I felt intense anxiety, and I was like, is this really, am I really going in the right direction? Am I really doing the correct thing? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Don't worry. That is very normal when you're trying to recover from anxiety, because when you are am I saying the correct thing? Before you decided allowing these symptoms, before you were using, you know, medicine, you know, you're using supplements, you are performing compulsions, you are performing rituals, you are, you know, you are resisting anxiety, you are fighting anxiety, you're distracting anxiety, you're coping, then now you have decided to let go of all these crutches. You are not taking medication anytime you feel anxiety, you're not going there for your water, you're not performing compulsions, you're not using alcohol. Aren't you gonna feel intense anxiety? You are going to feel intense anxiety, because you are no longer using you are no longer using your coping crutches. You're no longer using the medicine to, you know, numb the symptoms. You are no longer fighting anxiety, you're no longer suppressing anxiety, you're no longer resisting anxiety, you're no longer doing all those things to try and find relief from anxiety, to try and, you know, alleviate anxiety. So all those anxious energy within, because you're not using any coping crutch, they're going to be released, and they're going to be released in form of intense anxiety, intense fear, you know, the physical symptoms, the intrusive thoughts, the feelings of anything really. So when you start applying acceptance, when you start facing your fears, when you start, you know, living your life, you are bound to feel intense anxiety, because now you are no longer numbing the symptoms, you're no longer using any coping crutches. So all that anxious energy will want to be released. That's why you find that when you are no longer having a panic attack, you might have a panic attack at that particular time, because now the anxious energy is not suppressed, it's coming out. So don't be worried when you feel intense anxiety, when you first start accepting anxiety. That's very normal. I also experienced that, and it only happens at the beginning. As you heal, as you desensitize, the symptoms also decrease and eventually fade away.